the Nashville housing market and Zillow. Let's remove the veil and tell all the secrets, how it works, and what it might mean for you as a buyer or seller in the Nashville area. Let's talk about it right now. Nashville housing market and Zillow. We are both in the news, especially now. Have you heard that Nashville has just been one of the next 5 areas of the country that Zillow is going to be purchasing homes? Do you know how this really works? That's what we're going to talk about right here in this video. So if you're new to me, I'm Susan Thetford. I'm a 36-year career realtor here in the Nashville, Tennessee area with Parks Properties. I'm also a retired general contractor, and I keep my eye on market here and all around this Middle Tennessee area because we're the it city. We're where everybody's got their eyes on, and you need to know this information to make informed decisions. All right, you've probably heard that realtors hate Zillow. Some do, some don't. I'm not here to tell you one way or the other. I am just going to tell you how it all works. First of all, do you know that Zillow also owns Trulia and realestate.com, not realtor.com. That's owned by the member boards of real estate, licensed agents. No, they bought, and it's smart, realestate.com, Trulia, and many, many more app sites where you can go on and search for homes that are on the market within certain areas of the country. Here's how it works. Zillow is a free listing service for sellers hoping to sell, for buyers searching for properties that are currently on the market, that are currently listed by real estate agents through the multiple listing service, for people who are for sale by owner, who are wanting to put that information out there, for lenders. It's a free service for those to have that free information. It's paid advertising. The advertising is paid by agents who want attention in the forefront, mortgage companies who want attention in the forefront. It's paid for the advertising, and it's free information. Here's how they get that information. They bargain with the realtors throughout the country, realtor boards, to share that information in saying, hey, when you share this information to a broader public, then of course the sellers that you represent are going to make the most money. In theory, that's true. It's great, as a matter of fact, because that's what we want to do, is get our information out to as many people as possible to get you the highest and best price. How does Zillow make its money? By advertising. So they've got our information for free, and then we as agents have to go back and pay for our faces, for our names, for our brand to be put back out there. So what does this mean for you? Because you don't care. If you can find good property that you want to buy, you don't care who pays for it and how Zillow gets paid, right? I know, I get it. I don't either. Here's what happens. When you call and you've done a search in the middle of the night, 2 in the morning, when you call or say, I want more information, you're not talking to, in all probability, the listing agent. When you say, I want more information about 123 Main Street, the person, unless you dig very deeply down into Zillow, into all the small print, you're not talking to the agent who lists the property, who knows all about it, who's been through it several times, who's got the property disclosures. You're not talking to that agent. You're talking to one of the 3 or 5 who have bought that zip code, maybe 10, who have bought that zip code in rotation to have the rights to have their face, their name, their phone number next to that listing, such that you call them at 1 in the morning, or you say, I want more information at 1, 2 in the morning. They know no more about that than anything. They have bought the right to advertise their face, their brand, in circuit with other agents, as I say, 3 to 5, maybe 10 agents in rotation. You're not getting someone who's ever seen the property. You're not getting someone who actually even knows what you're talking about. You're not getting someone who represents the seller necessarily, but you're also not getting someone who represents you because you don't know them. You don't know if they're frankly an agent who lives in Smyrna who has bought the rights to the Green Hills agency. You don't know who it is and whether they have any knowledge whatsoever of the property or the area and the fine art of being able to price or help you make a good offer on a piece of property because they don't know the area. You are not talking to the expert in that area necessarily, in all probability, and you're certainly not talking to the listing agent. So you're certainly not getting a better deal that people often think they're getting when they work directly with the selling agent. Now, if that's what you think, you need to check out this next video that tells you who is it that the selling agent truly represents. That's here in the comments because you need to know that too. But we're just unveiling the Zillow secrets right now. So when you call that face on rotation, or you say, please, face on rotation, get back to me, you may have 1 to 5 to 7 different phone calls from that face on rotation. And you're going to say, hey, Mr. Face on Rotation, I looked up 123 Main Street and is it still available? And their answer is going to go, I don't know. And you say, okay, well, how many bedrooms and baths does it have? What is the backyard like? Does it have 2 fireplaces? Are they working fireplaces, gas fireplaces, wood burning, or are they just for show? Are there close restaurants? Every one of your questions, they don't know. They probably not, they might not even be part of the area. So they may have to pull it up just like you do on Realtor.com or on their MLS service. They don't know. They don't know. Now, as you heard me say, you could look up 123 Main Street. You decide you want it. And if you go all the way to the bottom and you find that fine print as to who the current listing agent is on that piece of property, I want you to know that listing agent is paid by the seller to represent the seller. So when you tell that listing agent, I am so freaking excited. My wife and I just sold our home in San Francisco and we're looking to move and buy a second home in Nashville, Tennessee. We want to be close to the walking neighborhoods and we want to be close to all those great restaurants that I hear about, and we want to spend about $750,000. I see this one's only about $600,000, but you know, it looks like it's perfect. It's got everything we need. You have just given that listing agent so much information. And guys, we're good at getting information out of you because that's what we do. You have given that listing agent so much ammunition to help his seller get the most pricing for their property that, because you just told them, you know, there's about $150,000 difference between what we plan to spend and what this house is offered, so they can push that price high. You've also told them you don't know the market. That's key. You have told the selling agent you don't know the market. So who do you want representing you? Someone who represents the seller, who is paid by the seller, who is paid to share commission splits, but if they go directly with you, you go directly with them, they don't have to share the commission split. They get the full amount. Who do you want representing you? Especially if you're new to an area. As I said, when you have a seller's agent representing you, everything you say can and will be used against you, just like in a court of law. A fourth issue with Zillow, in my mind, is the fact that it's really not real time. Now, when a home goes on the market, it is in real time. The minute I put it onto my multiple listing service here in the Nashville, Tennessee area, it goes straight to Zillow. It's in real time. But what happens when it goes pending? What happens when we get an offer on it subject to inspection or subject to financing? I'm going to put it into my listing service as such. But Zillow is a whole nother matter. They don't pick that information up. They don't care to pick that information up because it doesn't serve. So here's what happens. Every step of the way, all the way to closing and way beyond, It's up to each and every agent through the board, whether they're part of Zillow's system or not. It's up to each one of us to go and make changes individually to Zillow, to Trillia, to all the places that Zillow owns. Frankly, we're too busy for that. And why would we? Because it still at least is getting our name and our work out there. So whenever I get the phone call of, Susan, I'm taking a look and I see a house that maybe you haven't shown us or you haven't told us about it. It's at 124 Main Street. I have to go back and look it all up, and I will find that 124 Main Street sold 6 months ago. 124 Main Street's off the market and has been off the market for 4 months. I don't show it to you. I don't tell you about it because it doesn't exist as an opportunity to purchase right now. And that's so confusing and irritating to buyers that I get it. But the fact is, it's way too much time and energy for us to then go back to every single one of the websites that doesn't update their websites with good information. That's beyond our scope. You may well understand that we Realtors and Zillow kind of have a love-hate relationship. Zillow loves us. We gave them the information for free to help our sellers, and we have to buy back the attention that Zillow offers. That's kind of crummy. Number two part that's kind of crummy is the area that I work in. I'll just give you an idea. The area that I work in, some of my top 5 areas, it's over $10,000 a month to have my face in rotation when a listing goes on the market for that. I think my better use of my time and my money is in building my brand, teaching my experience, and not paying Zillow the price for the information that I've already given them. This is information that's valuable to you. I invite you to subscribe to my channel, to hit the bell so that you don't miss a thing. I drop a new video every single Thursday. Here on this channel, you'll find information about Nashville, the Nashville community, and the perspective of a native Nashvilleian as to all the things that make Nashville be the it city of the world today. I'll see you soon.